Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new tutorial on how to make Mastermind for Python 3. In this tutorial we will learn how to create the game. If you don't know how to play Mastermind, I suggest looking that up beforehand, so that you can, kind of understand what we are doing here. So in this game you have to try and figure out a sequence of 4, which is predetermined by the computer. So yes, okay. I think I got a pretty easy one here for this demonstration. Okay. So we do know that 1 is correct. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 2. There we go. At the end it tells you how long it took you to guess the answer. We can see how many are correct and in the right spot. And over on the left here we can see how many are correct but in the wrong spot. And we can use this combined with logic to figure out what the sequence of 4 is. And yes, in this tutorial we'll also learn how to create a very simple dev mode, which is great for testing, which will allow you to see what the sequence is before you start. And yeah, that's really good for figuring out what's wrong with your code. It's always very important to have a separate developer mode, I find, which is secret. So here you can see you press A to start the game, you press B for how to play the game, and there's a secret command which is C, which enables developer mode, which shows you the combination beforehand. So yeah, let's get right into the programming. Actually, one more note. If you do not know how to use Python, I recommend a tutorial series from SentDex, Python 3 Basics. There will be an annotation on screen now, so if you do not know how to program in Python, just click that. Okay, let's get into the coding. First things first, with every Python project, you are going to want to import, you're going to want to put in your imports. We only need one import when using Python 3, and that is random. Random is going to be very important for deciding the sequence at the beginning of each game, so you definitely need that. If you are using Python 2, which is preferred by some people, I personally use Python 3. But if you're using Python 2, there's another line which you'll need, which is from future, that is 2 underscores here, another 2 underscores, import print function. That is also going to be important if you are using Python 2. We're using Python 3, so we're not going to need that. All we're going to need is import random. Now we're going to need to do our variables. We're going to need to define some variables. I like to put these in categories, so yeah, we'll just have our I'll just write define variables. It's always very important to do comments to let yourself find where everything is when you come back to the project later. Right, so first category is going to be display. This is things that we're going to eventually display to the user. So in this category we're going to need a variable called inside, which is basically that is an integer, and what this integer is, it's basically the number that you got right but in the wrong place. That's what that is. And then the ones that are in the right place, that is going to be correct. So yeah, what am I doing? I can't type today apparently. Then we're also going to need to keep track of the player's turns. This actually gets redefined later, I'm just kind of laying everything out here. We're going to need some variables which are going to be important for our loops later. I like to just indent that. So you're going to need game, which basically tells you if the game is active. and loop. This will all be explained later. Right now all you need to know is that these need to be in the project. Next we have some which I've kind of labeled as input holders, which is true of a lot of variables, but in this sense what it is it kind of some of the variables later get transferred to other variables, and this is where they get held during that stage. So I'm just putting those in here. We've got 1v, 2v, 3v, and 4v. Reason I've kind of shortened off the 3 and the 4 is just so that they're all the same length. I don't know why, I just did that. Next we've got directories, which is simply, you know, that's going to be used later when we do a help index. Right, so that's just section, that's all. And then one more, which is going to be lists. This isn't shown to the player unless you're in dev mode, and that is simply key. And next we're going to need some which are comparing. This project uses a lot of variables, like all projects I guess, which is going to be test num, obviously short for test number, and dev mode, which is going to decide if, well, it's going to help the computer determine whether or not you are in dev mode when it opens the thing. So, what we are next going to need is kind of a menu, I'd say, so that you can get to where you want to be. For this first menu, you're obviously going to need to have input, so the player can choose which part of the program they want to get to. So let's do that as a function. I'm going to say home menu for the comment, just so that we know what that is when we come back to it later. Right, so functions. I'm going to define menu. That is going to import dev mode. Right, and that is going to be a we're going to make a new variable called command. Command is going to be equal to input, which I'm just, you know, which it literally all it has to say. It doesn't need to be a multi-line. It could just be Mastermind for now. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just kind of make it a little bit more fancy. And then down here we've got obviously the options. A, start the game. B will be how to play. And then just that the player kind of gets the idea of what they need to do next. I have a little thing here that says input, spacebar, and then the end of the multi-line. Right, now, what we're next going to do, we're going to need to run some if statements. We are going to have if command, which is our variable from earlier, is equal to A. We're going to activate the function start, and that's the, and yeah, I think for now that's all we're going to do, because we don't really have any other functions. Although I am also going to do a elif command equals C. It will run. It says dev mode equals 1 and start, so that it basically does the same function but with dev mode equal to 1. So yeah, that's it. And also at the end of the code, right at the end, we're gonna activate the menu function right here, so that when the game is started, it kind of goes through all this, gets the function, and then starts the game right here. So when we run this, you'll see it shows up here. We've got start the game, how to play, and then here we can do our input, which right now isn't going to do anything because, you know, nothing happens. Start is not defined because we haven't defined that function. That is nothing to worry about, that is fine. Right, so now I guess we should start work on, you know, the start function. But actually, we're going to do that next episode. This was kind of an intro to the series. Stay tuned for the next episode. That should be uploaded shortly. And yes, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, etc. And yeah, I will see you in the next of the series.